Welcome to the Human 5.0 Project, the podcast where we cut straight to the breakthroughs that matter, the show where science meets self-optimization. I'm your host, Ultimate Biohacker 10X, and here we break down the real research, real data, and real dosing behind modern biohacking, from compounds and peptides to techniques, devices, lifestyle strategies, and performance protocols. Most people jump in and jump out before they get the gold, so we're keeping it tight and delivering the essential insights you need without the fluff. If you've taken the time to hit play, we'll make sure you walk away with valuable knowledge that can transform your approach to longevity, health optimization, and beyond. If you've been feeling like your body is sending mixed signals lately, low energy, stubborn fat, lighter sleep, slower recovery, mood swings, skin changes, you're not imagining it, and you're not alone. A lot of women are trying to solve very real issues with random advice, influencer clips, and one-size-fits-all protocols. And that is exactly how people end up wasting time, wasting money, and making things more confusing. Today we're doing this differently. We're talking real talk about peptide stacks for women in 2026, and without the hype, without the fantasy, and without pretending there's one perfect solution for everybody. This is about understanding your goals, looking at your baseline, and making smarter decisions based on your physiology, not somebody else's highlight reel. This is Ultimate Biohacker 10X, and welcome to the Human 5.0 Project. I'm sitting here in sunny Fort Lauderdale on February 26th, getting ready for tomorrow's big video drop. And if you're chasing that 2026 glow up like I am, let's cut through the noise and get honest. Peptides are not magic. They're not a shortcut around bad habits. But when they're used intelligently, with real data and real awareness, they can be a powerful tool. It's 2026, and this conversation is no longer just for the guys. More women are looking into peptides for recovery, body comp, sleep, skin, and overall resilience. But here's the problem. Too many people start with the product instead of the problem. So today we're doing real talk. We're going to cover what women are actually trying to fix, why baseline data matters before any stack, where people go wrong, and the framework I want you to use before you ever think about adding anything to your routine. Before we go any further, quick disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. I am not telling you what to take, what to inject, or what is right for your body. If you're considering any hormone-related or peptide-related approach, talk with a qualified licensed clinician, get appropriate lab work, and use legitimate testing in pharmacy channels. At-home testing can be useful for gathering information, but it is not the same thing as a full medical evaluation. Cool? Okay, let's lock it in. Now, let's get into the non-negotiable. Data before stacks. Do not stack blindly. If you're dealing with low energy, poor recovery, stubborn fat gain, bad sleep, or hormone-related changes, you need context before you start chasing solutions. You want to look at patterns. You want to track symptoms. You want to understand whether what you're dealing with is stress, sleep debt, underfueling, cycle-related fluctuation, recovery issues, or something deeper that needs real medical attention. This is where baseline testing can be helpful. Not because a home test gives you the whole story, but because it can give you clues. Think of it as information, not a diagnosis. Think of it as a map, not the final destination. For example, something like myLAB box makes it easy. Unbox the kit, quick finger prick for blood spots, mail it back, and log into the app for trends on hormones like estradiol, cortisol, or thyroid markers. It's convenient and CLIA lab backed, though turnaround can vary. Available here in Florida, so check your state. The biggest mistake people make is using a product to solve a problem they have not actually defined. If your sleep is wrecked, if your stress is through the roof, if your training is inconsistent, if your protein is low, if your cycle is all over the place, then adding more inputs can just create more noise. Especially for women over 30, context does matter. Your cycle matters. Your stress load matters. Your recovery matters. Your age and phase of life matter. So, before you ask, what stack should I run? The better question is, what am I actually trying to improve? This is how I want you to think about it. Bucket number 1, Recovery and body composition. Maybe you're training hard, but you're not bouncing back. Maybe your body composition feels stuck. Maybe performance is down and your output feels flat. Bucket number 2, sleep and resilience. Maybe you're tired but wired. Maybe your sleep looks long enough on paper, but you still wake up drained. Maybe your stress feels like it's bleeding into everything. Bucket number 3, hormone rhythm support. Maybe your cycle feels irregular. Maybe you're in that gray zone of perimenopausal changes. Maybe your energy, mood, and recovery feel inconsistent in ways they just didn't before. Bucket number 4, hair, skin, repair, and inflammation. Maybe healing feels slower. Maybe skin quality has changed. Maybe you feel like your body is just not recovering the same way it used to. If you do not know which bucket you are in, you should not be stacking anything. Start with symptoms, not products. And peptides are signals, not fairy dust. Now, when people talk about stacks in 2026, what they usually mean is grouping compounds around a goal. And I want to be very clear here. I am not giving you a prescription, and I'm not telling you that any of these are one size fits all. I am talking about common conversations in the community so you can think more clearly and more critically. Like the trending stacks will show on the screen, purely for context, not to copy. For skin support, repair, and general glow conversations, people often bring up compounds like GHK copper and BPC 157. The reason that category gets attention is because women are often looking for support around skin quality, recovery, and tissue resilience. But again, the point is not to copy a trend. The point is to ask whether your actual tissue is recovery, inflammation, stress, nutrient status, or something else that is showing up through your skin or healing capacity. For body composition and metabolic support conversations, people often focus on appetite control, blood sugar handling, visceral fat concerns, and muscle retention. This is where a lot of hype lives right now, and this is where I need you to slow down. The biggest mistake is stacking for fat loss when the real issue is under-recovery, poor sleep, chronic stress, or hormone chaos. Think about that for a minute. If the foundation is off, the stack does not fix the foundation. It just makes the whole thing more expensive. For sleep and recovery support conversations, people often talk about growth hormone-related approaches and nighttime recovery strategies. But here too, the same rule applies. If your sleep hygiene is terrible, if your evening stress is high, if your schedule is chaotic, and if your wearable data is constantly telling you that your recovery is down, the first move is not always to add more. The first move is to clean up the basics and figure out why the signal is off in the first place. What matters most is not chasing the trend. What matters most is matching the strategy to the actual problem. And if you do move forward with anything under professional guidance, this is where personalization matters. Women are not small men. Your cycle can affect energy, mood, recovery, appetite, and how you respond to training and stress. Your body is dynamic, and your strategy should reflect that. More is not always better. Faster is not always smarter. Now, let's talk red flags, because this is where people lose the plot. Do not build your protocol from TikTok comments. Do not ignore your cycle. Do not start adding multiple new inputs at once. Do not use advanced tools while your sleep is completely broken. Do not react to the one lab result in isolation without context. And do not try to fix something like perimenopause from one home hormone panel alone. If your foundation is broken, your stack becomes expensive confusion. Peptides do not replace the basics, they amplify what is already there. If your sleep is poor, if your protein is low, if your resistance training is inconsistent, if your stress is unmanaged, then the first move is to fix those variables. So here's the framework I want you to use before you do anything else. Step 1, track symptoms for 2 to 4 weeks. Write it down: energy, mood, sleep quality, recovery, hunger, cravings, cycle changes, training output. Patterns matter. Step 2, track cycle timing. Know where you are in your month and pay attention to what changes when. Step 3, track sleep, recovery, and stress. If you do use a wearable, use it for trends, not panic. Look for direction, but not perfection. Step 4, use labs for context, not fear. Data should guide better questions. It should not send you into guess and check mode. Step 5, Fix the basics before you escalate. That means getting your sleep in order. That means hitting your protein. That means strength training consistently. That means managing your stress load. That means getting a real baseline before making bigger decisions. Before you stack, I want you thinking about 6 things: sleep, protein, strength training, stress load, biomarker baseline, and a clear goal. That is your roadmap. And data-driven decisions win every single time. And that brings us to the real takeaway. Peptide conversations for women should be built around physiology and not hype, not fear, and definitely not random influencer protocols. The smartest move is not starting faster. The smartest move is getting clear on the signal first. Because once you know what you are actually trying to solve, you can make better decisions, ask better questions, and avoid wasting months chasing the wrong thing. If you're interested, I can do a part 2 where I break down beginner-friendly peptide categories by goal in a more structured way. If you want that, just comment part 2 in the comments. And if you want a checklist, I'm going to make a downloadable pre-stack screening template so you can walk through this the right way. Plus, grab the printable handout in the description for stack overviews. Again, this is education only, folks. Drop a comment and tell me what your biggest struggle is right now. Energy, sleep, recovery, body comp, hormone rhythm. For now, stay empowered, stay data-driven, and stay glowing. This is Ultimate Biohacker 10X. I'm out. Thanks for listening to the Human 5.0 Project. If you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready to elevate their biology. Make sure to follow the show for weekly deep dives into peptides, protocols, devices, lifestyle strategies, and the science of high-performance longevity. Until next time, stay curious, stay optimized, and stay 10X